Oh, welcome back to the Cypress Sports Show, brought to you by Coach's Corner, your go-to spot before and after the game. I'm Jeff Russell here with Mark Slevcove. Today we welcome alumni Mandi Ortiz, the manager of marketing and entertainment for the Los Angeles Angels, to the program. We catch up with Coach Feldman on an outlook for our league play for football. And we also talk to some water polo players in our segment, How Well Do You Know? Coach Slevcove, Friday's football game. Definitely super exciting with Capo. Great outcome for us, right?
That's right. 41-38 game. Just hung on to that one against a very good Capo team. Right, their quarterback, some of their players are pretty exceptional. So good victory for us. 5-0 now on the non-league season. Orange County Register continues to have us at number 10 in the county. Aiden Houston, our quarterback, threw for 4 touchdowns, ran for another one. Rocco Burdett had another 2 touchdowns, like against the Catella game. Matthew Baldonado came up with a clutch interception in the second half. And Steve Fryer noted this week that senior safety Trevor Monteleone is a mid-season contender for OC Defensive Player of the Year.
That's awesome.
Girls volleyball. Our girls volleyball team's 4-0 in league play after wins over Kennedy and Valencia. Solid play from senior leader Akira Roberts. The final match of the first round of league is Tuesday versus Crean Lutheran. Crean Lutheran is also 4-0, so we're expecting a great matchup. Girls tennis lost 10-8 to Valencia last week with 2 top opponents in our league. Despite Ife, Ibe, and Aaron Kim winning all 3 sets, we were down 9-4 during the final round. Almost made the comeback, but fell just short.
We always have such a tough time. Valencia is always so good in tennis. It's always a battle with them.
It always is, and we got another chance at Valencia in a couple weeks. Boys water polo open up league this week versus Tustin. League play is a single round of competition. And the boys host Esperanza on Friday against CIF champion coaches Galen Diaz and Jay Miracle. Good luck to the boys this week. Cross country this week, Thursday, is the league cluster meet. That's a preview for league finals with all the schools in our league at Craig Park. All levels are previewing this week. Good luck to cross country. Girls golf defeated Kennedy and Valencia last week in league competition. They got a tough match coming up Thursday against Crean Lutheran at Tustin Ranch.
All right, well, what a week we had. Now on to league play. So to get us going with that thought in mind, we're going to catch up with some water polo athletes. And we asked them in our segment, How Well Do You Know? We asked them, how well do you know your goalkeeper? Here's what they had to say.
All right, we're here with senior John Smith, sophomore Ian Teneman, junior Dylan Pham, water polo goalkeeper Aaron Zeth. Got 6 questions for you on how well you know your goalkeeper. Number 1, how tall is Aaron?
I think he's 6'3", 6'2" or 6'3".
I think it's about 6'3", 6'5".
6'3".
6'3".
2, have you ever heard Aaron's middle name? Do you know what it is?
No, I don't know his middle name.
Take
Oh,
a
wait.
guess. Yeah.
Is it Howard?
Dylan?
Dylan?
It might be Howard. I think it's something like that.
Dark.
Is there a story behind that?
It's my dad's middle name, so it's mine.
3, what's Aaron's favorite movie?
Toy Story 3.
Let's go with 16 Candles.
I have to go with Ratatouille. I just like that one. It makes no sense that there's rats cooking for humans.
Do you know what kind of music he listens to?
Death Grips.
Oh.
I'm going. He's a heavy metal or a rap guy.
He looks like a rock guy. It's like heavy metal.
Metal.
Really?
Yeah.
Favorite band?
They're not really metal, but I like Radiohead.
5th, if Aaron had one person from the squad to take the 5-meter shot, who would it be?
Me.
Probably Ian. Pretty good at 5 minutes.
No doubt. 100%.
100%.
Easy.
John Smith.
And last question, what kind of sunscreen does Aaron use?
Sunbug.
He uses, I forget what it's called. It has the lizard as the
Some Walmart brand.
The lizard's like on the brand. I forget what it is. It's a weird one. It's like a really white one. I don't know. Lizard? That's my answer.
I use Blue Lizard.
Next week, we will catch up with some teachers and athletes to find out how well they know homecoming. But before we get to our guest today, we checked also in with Coach Feldman on our league schedule and the outlook for league play. What teams are going to give us the best tests? Hey, we're here with Coach Feldman. We start league play this week, Coach. Who's going to be the good teams that we got to look out for, and any surprises that you see?
Well, we start with a good team, Tustin. They haven't won yet, but they've played 5 real difficult teams. They're always big and physical and very talented. So that's going to be a tough one to start the league. And then the other up-and-comer is Crean Lutheran. They're undefeated. The schedule hasn't been that tough, but they have 3 or 4 guys that have been sitting out that are now going to become eligible, and I believe they're modern day and OLU transfer types. So Crean's getting ready to turn the corner. That's going to be a real tough one as well. Pacific is always real good, and Kennedy and Valencia, they always play hard and they're really well coached.
So we got Pacifica for homecoming. Any good advice for the students about getting involved?
Yeah, got to come out, participate in the homecoming activities that week, and come out to the game. The student section is always awesome. Last Friday it was great. The stadium was packed. It always makes us play better, and makes, when we win, makes it that much more fun.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, thanks to Coach Feldman for his time. Slev, it looks like it's going to be a fun, exciting league season as well for football. I'd like to say that we are probably the favorites in the league, I would guess.
According to many, Steve Fryer predicts us to win the league and go 5-0 in league, but we got to execute out there on the field.
Yeah, Tustin coming up is going to be really tough, and of course, Crean Lutheran will be there as well. And well, this week we'd like to welcome a Cypress alum and everyone's favorite cheerleader, Mandi Ortiz, of the program.
Hello.
Mandi, how you doing today?
Doing great. I'm excited to be here. Honored to be the favorite cheerleader.
Absolutely. Well, Mandi, you're a 2012 graduate of Cypress, member of the cheer squad, ASB president as well. Were you homecoming court?
Yes, homecoming queen, yes.
Queen as well. We're coming up with homecoming in the next week, so we got the former queen on as well. What are some of your fondest memories back here at Cypress?
I have a lot of great memories at Cypress. One that I was just thinking about this morning coming here is how for the rivalry game with Kennedy, we'd cover all the walls covered in posters. I always admired that. It has a good small town feel. It's a healthy rivalry. So anytime we got to play Kennedy in sporting events was fun, seeing everybody go at it. And, of course, homecoming. It's cool as a student, as an alumni. I've come to several homecoming games, so getting back there, running into old friends and seeing everyone come together, it's pretty awesome.
Well, you're back on campus again. How has the school changed? What's the biggest difference you see around here?
It looks great. I think a lot has changed. I follow social media, I follow ASB and athletics, and like I said, I've been to a few football games. It's awesome to see the student interaction, especially at games, the student section. That's something, when I was in ASB here, I remember our former vice president coming up to me and saying, what's your goal? What's something you want to see? And a student section was a huge part of that. And obviously it takes many years for it to build and get to where it is now. So to think that our ASB group kind of started setting that plan in motion and getting people interested in going, whether they're into football itself or not, it's a place where people can gather, and that's something that I love about sports. So it's really cool to see the student section go wild and people be really excited to come together to share that. So
yeah, student section's been going strong, and certainly you're behind that. You were also in this room or something similar to this room on announcements all the time in school. I remember as ASB president, you were announcing, and now our ASB presidents are doing a great job communicating with the students every day. So you've been on the air quite a bit, Chapman Broadcasting, Roger Lodge Show. What do you like more, organizing, performing, broadcasting?
That's a tough question, and I don't think I figured that out yet, and that's why no matter where I go, I go in with one job, and like here with the Angels today, I'm the marketing and entertainment coordinator, so it's an administrative position, so to say. Everything you see here when you're at an Angels game, the video boards, Rally Monkey videos, national anthem, the music, things like that, that's our department to organize, and my position initially started in that realm, but then it's expanded from there to include marketing events, which ties a lot back to ASB and things like that. But then my broadcasting career that I had in college and beyond circled back to meet me again. I was asked to be part of our radio station, which I think we'll talk about later, and now I'm the in-game host. So I wear a lot of hats, and I did the same thing in college, cheering simultaneously while being the sideline reporter for a game, which is crazy. And I always think that day, how did I get myself into this? I'm running from place to place, but I like that. It's cool to be involved, and right now in my life, I don't think I have to choose yet. So it's awesome that people are allowing me to do different things and see where it takes me.
Very cool. Well, you once described yourself in one of your cheer programs way back in the day as talkative, nerdy, and spirited. Is that still the case, or have you evolved a little bit?
No, still pretty nerdy. No, I would say that's pretty spot on. And, nerdy, I guess, can take on a lot of different forms, but I geek out on things. Like just last night, I had my binoculars looking at Jupiter because they said it was the closest it was ever going to be, and I'm like, I can't get them focused. But I'm excited about all kinds of things, and obviously talkative as led me to where I am today with radio and things like that, and spirited. I mean, I'm here today because I always cared about Cypress High School, and I still do. I follow things and like to keep up, and I was just at my alma mater, Chapman, last week speaking to a club there, so I think that speaks to my spirit in the sense that I still really care about things that I was involved in and seeing them, continue to be great.
But you talked about community a little bit with the sandwich shop, and you've always found a way to connect with people, make them feel like family, make them feel good. I know when we went to the sandwich shop, we always felt that way. I'm sure that helps in your career as well. So was this always something natural for you, or is this something that maybe you can kind of learn?
I think both. For as outgoing as I am, I also have like a shy side. I certainly get nervous before things or overthink things. So, it's only human to have those emotions, and it's kind of evolved over time. Like anything, when I started on the radio, it was more nerve-wracking at the beginning than it is now. You get that kind of ease, or you learn how you can prepare to make it a little less stressful. That's been the biggest thing for me, is I know I'll be less stressed if I prepare a certain way. So as time goes on, I try to make sure I set myself up for success in that way so that I don't have to be so tense when the moment comes. Yeah, I've already lost the question. So.
Well, leadership comes with preparation,
Yeah.
and many times you got to improvise as well. And take us back to your senior year in college when you guys didn't have a cheer coach, and you had to come up and teach your own dances and your own cheers. Initiative, leadership, dedication are so important.
Yeah, it's completely different. In high school you have a coach and you compete, and when I went to Chapman, it's just a little bit of a different setup where they don't have coaches and it's a captain-run squad like you see in the movies. So yeah, you have to take that responsibility. If the cheerleaders are requested to be at some big school assembly or appearance, then you have to organize that and make that happen. And at that point, it's not a job; it's just for fun. But that didn't matter to me. Cheer is something I did my whole life, and I enjoyed doing that. So you just kind of step into the role and own it. I think it's in my personality. That's kind of the role that I always find myself evolving into, mostly because I think I see potential in programs, and so I spend a year or 2 years or whatnot part of the team, and then when I get the opportunity to lead, there's so many ways that I think I could help. Let's try this to move it to the next level. Or when we were at Chapman, there weren't a lot of appearances or things that the team did prior to me becoming captain, so it was nice to get to introduce that and make that more part of the culture there. So I do find myself in leadership positions. It's part of my personality, but it doesn't mean I'm also not part of the team or have some kind of perspective that I came from to add to that.
So you've moved up through the Angels organization, Strike Force, marketing and entertainment coordinator, now manager of marketing and entertainment. How can a high school athlete learn from those things you're doing now and help them in the future?
Just be a good person. Every single person you meet, you're going to run back into, and they could be the key to your next step. And so just always remembering that, and just talk to people. If you're curious about something, then ask someone about it. When I spoke at Chapman, they said, what's your advice for the seniors? And when you're in college and high school, you have 100 activities a week. You have guest speakers, clubs, sporting events, all these different things. If you're remotely interested in the topic, then go and hear it. It's not going to to hurt you, and it may open your eyes to a new career path or a new direction that you want to explore. And when you're an adult, you don't get to have all those activities in front of you all the time to explore all that. You have to be more of a self-starter about it. So I just encourage students and student athletes to ask a lot of questions, to later take an internship in something you're interested in. I had an internship for a healthcare company, and it was great, and I made a lot of connections, but ultimately I determined that wasn't the direction I wanted to go. So it wasn't a waste of time. I could have got a job in that and had to figure that out much harder later. So I just encourage people to ask questions, explore topics, and see if it's for you, and learn what you can while you have all of these resources around you.
Well, there's another Cypress alumni that also works for the Angels.
Yes.
How fun is it for you two to share in each other's successes?
It's awesome. I think for any athlete to be able to play for your local team and the team that you were a fan of is so lucky, because that's not really always up to you. So it's been really fun watching Fletcher progress as time has gone on. Obviously, we all know he got drafted and things like that, but to see him actually make it to the majors and actually be a poster at the front of our stadium is the coolest part. And every year at spring training, my team, we film all of our video board content, all the green screen content that we're going to use for the starting lineups, and if we want to get personality pieces with the players, we play music and have them guess what song or artist it is. Fun stuff that we can play during the games. So we'll get a good amount of time to sit down with Fletcher, and it's just fun to be sitting there, and think back at the lunch tables or whatever it was passing by here at Cypress to say like, wow, you made it, this is so cool, now I have to do work with you. So it's awesome. It's really cool. And whenever you run into someone from Cypress, they got their like, oh, well, I once drove David Fletcher home, or I did this. It's just funny to hear everyone's, David Fletcher story. So It's awesome. And he's doing so great. The crowd loves him. So it's really cool to have a fellow Centurion.
Did you guys know each other pretty well back
Yes,
then?
I knew him. He was 1 grade younger than me, but I certainly interacted with him and knew him for a period of time. So yeah, it's really cool to see him succeed.
Oh, very cool. Well, this time of the show, we do this little rapid fire questions. Don't overthink them, just whatever comes to your head, nothing too hard or anything like that. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, well, the first one's a little longer. I know you're a Disney fan, okay? And I once read an article about the 8 out of the norm things that you can do at Disneyland. Do you remember
Kind of, vaguely, yes.
Kind of. Well, this is going to be some pressure here.
Okay.
So you wrote about some things. The Carthy Circle restaurant.
Okay.
I'm interested in that. I never don't know about that. The Mint Julep Bar.
It's a favorite.
Yeah. Okay. So out of the 8, I can't remember the other ones, but out of the 8, what was your favorite of that 8? Do you remember the 8, or do
I
you
don't
have a
remember the
favorite?
8, but my wheels are turning on probably what I was thinking. Given that I said it was still nerdy, I don't know if I mentioned the Lincoln Time with Mr. Lincoln exhibit, but that was always a cool one, and they always put neat things in there. Like right now, they have all the history of the Haunted Mansion and art in there, so that's kind of like a nerd corner that if people like that, I tell them to check out. Carthay Circle is a really cool one. It's at California Adventure, and it's modeling the theater that they first premiered Snow White in, which was Walt's first movie. So there's a little tour in there, and you can learn all about the history of it. So I have to say that's one of my favorites, because not a lot of people do know about it.
I didn't, but I'm going to have to check it out next time. One of the few times I go to
Yes,
Disneyland.
I know.
Other than Kashmir by Led Zeppelin, what would be your walk-up song?
Ooh, yes, that was my choice a while ago. Houston Street then took that when I was working for the team, so I had to kind of change it up. Ooh, there's a lot of good riffs. This is the hardest question you're going to ask me
hardest
today.
one, right? What song?
Let's come back to this one at the end.
Okay, we'll come back.
I got a few in my head.
We'll give you an easy one because I know you'll nail this one. Pepperoncinis or banana peppers?
Pepperoncinis.
Never call them banana peppers.
Don't call them banana peppers.
I read something about that too. You have a very, you are really on to that
Someone
one.
at Subway once when I was ordering my sandwich was like, they're banana peppers. I'm like, their pepperoncinis.
The Subway story. Don't
Yeah.
tell me what they are. I know.
I know. I've handled them.
Have you ever been recognized at the stadium as the sandwich girl?
Yes, I have. It does happen sometimes. We have a fellow teacher, Jeff Cornelius, who taught at Lexington for many years. So a lot of times I'm traveling with him and we'll run into the same people who maybe were one of his students and one of our customers. So that's really fun. And just the other day, we started a segment, Kid Predictions, where I interview a young kid and talk to them about the game, who's going to hit a home run tonight. And they were like, oh, sandwich girl, the dad. So it's fun. It's cool that, you know, we built a little community, and it's fun to me that Angels are right there and part of our community. You know, for a lot of sports, we have to go to LA, and the odds of running into someone you know are more slim. But if you go to a Ducks game or an Angels game, you're probably going to see a student or someone you know, and it just makes it feel like your team, which I think is really cool.
So for the Chapman people out there, Slev's son, best place to eat around Chapman?
There's so many good places over there. I still make my way over there after work sometimes to eat, but I'm gonna have to go with Bruxy.
Yeah.
Bruxy is my favorite. I had never tried it prior to going there. It always had a huge line, so I thought it's weird, waffles, but must be good because it's always a long line, and I love it. The Bruxy burger is my favorite.
And they got good shakes.
Really good shakes, yeah.
Best place to eat in Cypress?
Ooh, gosh, I used to go to Lupo's a lot, the Italian restaurant. That was my go-to. A lot of great places. There's Dominic's for Italian food, Kimmy's for breakfast over there by Dairy Queen, Joe Schmo's. I like Joe Schmo's. Good ice cream and things like that. Root beer on tap, so they have a really good root beer float.
There you go. How long until this is the toughest question. How long until you're running the Angels? The whole thing?
I don't know. It's up for sale, but I don't know if I have a down payment to cover that quite yet. No, I hope to continue to move up. I think that I have a great relationship with people in the front office, and it just goes back to my personality and asking questions and meeting people. You know, being on Strike Force you're the interactive squad. For people that don't know, you shoot up the t-shirts at the games, but more than that, you work all the community appearances, hospital visits, if there's a sponsorship event, radio appearances. So you get to be introduced to every department, and I credited that experience with being able to make connections, then eventually moving into the front office. So you never know. Maybe someday I will make it there.
All right, well, going back.
The song.
Walk-up song?
I love my oldies, so that's why I went to Led Zeppelin in the first place. I think Come Together by the Beatles would be kind of a cool walk-up song. Some players, they don't really know how to pick it. Like, you got to have a good riff or pick the right part, because we do let them tell us what part of the song they want. But some of them just start from the beginning, and I think, it'd be a little better if we just moved it a little further. But yeah, that's what I have to go with at the moment.
Well, thanks to Mandi for being with us today and sharing her success. Mandi, do you want to take us out of here?
Sure, like old times. Get over to Coach's Corner before and after the game to celebrate with the team. Get out to the games on Thursday. Next week is homecoming, so get involved in this week's festivities. Thanks again for watching. We will see you next week.